In one scene in this movie, NTR Jr. explains why a man goes over to the dark side. The reason he says is mice. Understandably, everyone around him is like, bro, what? He explains the acronym MICE like the high concept it is, which if I recall correctly is money, ideology, corruption and ego, I think. Everyone in this ultra high level intelligence, best of the best India defense team super group meeting room is like, wow, that is not cringe at all. This man knows what's up. All this and more in War 2 film, acronym WDF. Hey all, my name is Sucharita. Welcome back to my channel where today we are talking about Ayan Mukherjee's War 2 starring Hrithik Roshan, NTR Jr. and Kiara Advani in the lead roles now in movie theatres. There may be mild spoilers ahead. Mild. Approach with caution. Of course, there simply isn't enough war led by genocidal, maniacal men in the world right now, so YRF Spy Universe brings to you two more, described by Ashutosh Rana as he's a soldier, you're a soldier. Their mission simply being to destroy each other because this is war. The two men are Kabir and Vikram, and in true war style, you will never quite know which one is on which side at which point in time in this film. The story starts for stylistic reasons at a temple in Kamakura, Japan. Then by way of Delhi, it heads to Germany, the Netherlands, Spain, Somalia, back to Manali, then Yemen, Spain again, Bombay I think for a bit, international waters, lots of time in Delhi, Switzerland, Russia, Pakistan, France. The globe-trotting, multi-visa holding mercenary Kabir thwarts death at each location, dances a little, smolders a lot, before heading off to the next plot twist. Hot on his trail is the Indian agency RAW, led by Anil Kapoor, delivering an acting performance only ever so slightly different from Fighter. The film perhaps someone somewhere had actually hoped would be War 2? I don't know. Here, from a story written by YRF main man Aditya Chopra himself, Sridhar Raghavan generates a screenplay that travels between tones with as much enthusiasm as Kabir travels between borders. Engaged and excited, you happily ride along for a long time too, seeing a bare-chested Vikram fly through stormy winds hanging onto a chopper without blinking, infiltrating a pirate ship, casually dancing to a song that claims that he is the shaitan is exhilarating, if silly. Kabir's introduction scene is just as enjoyable at the aforementioned Japanese temple. Hrithik's pompadour enters the frame before he does. The slow motion foundation shade reveal is what can only be described as terracotta pink on his face. The CGI wolf is not fooling a single person, but look at him fly through the air as one does and shoot the evil mob boss through the windshield of his own helicopter. Machismo, yes, but at least there's design, choreography and muscles on display. And Hrithik Roshan speaking Japanese is, titillating. Then there's also the secret knowledge that a dance-off between Kabir and Vikram is imminent, which is also its own kind of exciting. You know all the super spies in this universe can shake a leg. Black Bag could never.
He's a soldier. You are a soldier. And this is war.
But friends, patience soon wears thin. Both Kabir and Vikram are introduced and quickly established as macho manly men, neither interested in recovering from the stereotype. Speaking of, there is Kiara Advani's character, Wing Commander Kavya, who in her introduction scene is shown winning an award for her bravery in a rescue mission. Soon enough, however, Kavya is so predictably reduced to the idea of women's liberation. Her character arc is decided only by the actions of the men in her life. The illusion of agency, it's such a great trick. Kavya is ignored to such a huge extent through this film. By the time you recover from War 2 and think back on what you just watched, all you might recall from Kavya's side of the story is her wardrobe choices. I mean, she does look amazing. They all do. Now, the main syndicate that runs the show is called Kali, which means bud, like of a flower. Surprisingly, not an acronym. Kali is a covert organization of influential people, exclusively South Asian for unexplained reasons. No Middle East, no European nations, no Americas. The Indian lead of Kali is oligarch Gautam Gulati, shipping, petroleum and telecom billionaire. To give credit where it is due, this guy is not a kajal-wearing Muslim with a topi and a taweez. The bar for action films in mainstream Hindi cinema is so low that not having Pakistan be the root of Kabir's problems and the subject of his ire feels like a step towards Hindi cinema declaring the need for immediate world peace. Almost as soon as these calming thoughts begin to cross your mind, though, a character says, "India first." And then another one echoes, and you're brought back to reality that perhaps not hyper, but undeniably nationalism runs through the veins of this film as well. Above all else, it may or may not be interested in talking about or exploring anything else at all.
India first. India first.
One character in a scene says Brahmastra. One pirate is named Barbosa. NTR Jr. quotes Nolan. A climactic battle sequence takes place in a setting that looks like Superman's Fortress of Solitude. Linens in Europe, a metallic bikini, a young man talking about the humane ways prisoners of war should be treated in a civilized world. These are all perhaps little wispy straws one can hold on to clutch while watching War 2. To try and stay afloat in the ocean of background score, the film is insistent it wants to drown itself in. Each scene is scored like a climactic sequence, making the runtime feel so much longer than it already is. It's so long. Seriously though, imagine expecting an audience to give you 3 hours of your time in return for derivative shootout scenes in mall parking lots and 586 repetitions of that one very specific kind of neck twist that immediately kills a man apparently. Everything is so cliche and repetitive, you're actively hoping for either Vikram or Kabir to finish each other. Doesn't matter who does the job, who gets the other one first. The film itself is so scared to commit allegiance to either side, and I don't know how it's hoping to be rousing enough to make its viewers want to care deeply about these men. You don't care only if you're really starved for action, and specifically Hrithik Roshan doing it. Tell me why you slept on Pushkar Gayatri's Vikram Vedha. If you want to watch NTR Jr. hold a very long grudge and beat people up, there is no dearth of choices. PM assassination plan subplot, seen 'em. Inexplicable timelines and romantic flashbacks, not new. A Bobby Deol guest appearance saying the extension of this universe is straight up titled Alpha. Sure, it checks out. Nobody's confused about the state of affairs right now. So aside from the joy of watching two very famous actors share screen space, there's nothing new on offer here. But if that's good enough for you, go buy a ticket this weekend. So on a scale of 1 to 10, War 2 is 0% of the homoeroticism of the first one made its way to the sequel, which might be the most disappointing part of this film. Right after War 2, I went and watched Coolie for 3 hours. Oh, what a day I had. वो review भी बस any minute on the channel. Subscribe करो, आ जाएगा. My name is Sucharita. Thank you for stopping by.